All right.
Okay, welcome back again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
And so, what the data says, we now have a great deal of empirical data that backs up everything my father wrote about proactivity back in the 1989. With 29 years of research behind her, Stanford professor Carol Dweck found that most people have one of two mindsets or paradigms about their ability to learn: a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe their intelligence and talent are fixed and that there's not much they can do about it. This is a reactive view of the world. I'm not good at math, or I've never been good with people, so why try? On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe their basic ability can be developed and enhanced through the dedication and hard work. I believe that they are in a driver's seat and, and can therefore improve and change. This proactive view of the world it result in proactive thinking and language. I need to get better with numbers so I can be more considerate of my parents, of partners. In like manners, Dr. Martin Seligman, the distinguished director of the Positive Psychology Center at the University of Pennsylvania, explores the benefit of focusing on your circle of influence. In his book, Authentic Happiness, he concludes that your happiness depends on genetics, one, genetics, two, circumstance, and three, things you can control. However, his research found that genetics and circumstance has less to do with happiness than the third category, the things you can control. So to be happy, Seligman suggests focus on things you can control. And then
Yeah,
we have
it's a good
and
idea. What do you think? What do you think about that one?
the things you can control.
Like three of them that they stated, like they
Yeah.
stated is like happiness come from genetics, from what is it? One more?
Circumstance and things you can control.
Senses and thing you can control. So
Yeah.
what do you think about each point? We don't have any data, like
Yeah.
recent data, but let's just think about it. Whether which one do you think is going to be like the most influence to the people happiness? So whether it's genetics, whether they were born and they are like a happy person in the world, or it depends on the circumstances that they are surrounded by, or because of the thing that they can control. So like it sound like, so what do you think? I think it's like good to think about it and then give me your thought.
So I think I agree with him. Like things you can control, because
Mhm.
like when you can control things, like example, you can't control how to drive a car. You're
Mm.
gonna when you get in a car, you be no. When you get in a car, no. Let me say it again. When you're going to a driving school and then you don't know anything about cars, you don't know how to organize things, you don't know which this do what, that do what. So you
Mhm.
be stressful and then if you like overthink it, that will cause like problems because you would ram into someone, you would cause an accident, etc.
Yeah.
And if you know how to organize, you know how to control, okay, this steering, if I turn left, it's gonna go this way. If I turn right, it's gonna go that way. If I press this much pedal or brake, it will stop this way or go this way.
Mhm.
Then you would understand that, oh, okay, I control this. I can make it's safe for me and for others, so then we can drive together,
Yeah.
like on the same road with safety and no accident. That's
Good.
things you can control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good example. I like it actually.
yeah,
Because even in we are in the really bad circumstances, then
yeah,
if we are still in control of something that we can control, that's still we can manage to be happy. We can manage ourselves, manage our families and everything. So that is the, yeah, I also agree with that as well. But for sure,
Yeah.
some circumstances that may influence our happiness. But again, if we are in the influence circle and we can control some things and we
Mm-hmm.
focus on that, then it still give us happiness about life. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't like, like stressful,
Yeah.
depression. Because like when you like too stressful, you would think like suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no point in life anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just, yeah. That's like people mind. That's for
Mm.
like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot, because of this kind of, like, when they cannot find a solution like in life,
Yeah.
then they might think that way, and they think like they see everything is a negative, see everything is so
Yeah.
bad. And it happened a lot in developed country like
Yeah.
Japan, like South Korea. You can see that country is so developed. Everything is so good, but still a lot of people commit suicide.
Yeah.
And India, especially, also they live in the kind of pressure from the school work and everything. Like too much competition because they live in the country that's billions people to
Mm-hmm.
compete
Yeah.
for one single position of job or something, or work somewhere in the, so a lot of competitions and a lot of pressure from school. If you have you watched the Three Idiots movie?
No.
It's a good movie. You should watch that Three Idiots. The title is Three Idiots.
Yeah.
It's
I think I've seen it. I've seen like the Three Idiots, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's good. You can watch that one. Also give you some kind of, I mean, this the movie script writer is, I feel like he is really good at, narrating this, write the script of the movie so good. And full of education, full of life, full of like friendship, and everything is so good. Even though I don't really understand everything because it is in Hindi language, I guess,
Yeah.
but I can see the subtitle.
Oh, so it's Indian.
Yeah, it's Indian movie, but it's a really good one. I really high recommend for you to watch. You can download it from whatever that you can, and
Yeah.
watch it with the subtitle. I've watched it many times. You will like it, you know. If you watch it
Okay.
one or two times, it's like not fully understand because it is Hindi language, and you watch the subtitle. And when something translate to the other language, it's not really full meaning, and it's very quick, and then you will not
Yeah.
catch up perfectly. So you have to watch
Is it
many times.
is it like an episode or like a whole movie?
Just one whole movie. I think it's like up to 2 hours or something.
After 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe I forgot. Maybe 1 hour or maybe 2 hours. I think, but it's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it is.
see.
They compare between those who are talent and those who are not. You will watch because they are three idiots. So it's supposed to be three different characters in the movie. One,
Mm-hmm.
two, three of them. Actually, four of them, but the other one is just like something else that they want to compare between the, like, memorize things best
Yeah.
without understanding it, or feel it, and the one who also understand, don't need to memorize things without
Mm-hmm.
understanding it, like compare between those two things, and also do what you like, not what people want you to do, like your family want you to be a doctor, to be engineering, so but you don't like it, then it's like it's the waste of time, it's the waste of your happiness, and the life tortures or something like that. It's kind of really good one. You can watch it. Three
Oh.
Idiots. I will send the titles. It's really good.
So like three of them are just idiots.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just like idiots just comparing themselves
yeah, yeah.
to each.
Three Idiots. It's a good one.
Oh, I guess, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
probably watch it.
Yeah, go on. Can read
Yeah.
more.
Okay. I'm gonna continue my reading.
Mhm.
Okay, so and then we have Angela Duckworth, also a professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania, who backs up the idea that resourcefulness and initiative, R&I, are key predictors of success. Over many years, she studied children and adults in challenging environments, including West Point military cadets, National Spelling Bee contestants, and rookie teachers in difficult school. In each study, her research team asked the question, who is successful here and why? Across numerous contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. Grit. In her book, Grit, the power of passion and perseverance. Duckworth examined how grit is the quality that allows an individual to work hard and maintain focus, not just for weeks or months, but for years. I couldn't agree with Duckworth more. In my role as a executive, I've hired hundreds of people. I used to consider an applicant GPA, the school they attend, and the information on their resume. Now I focus on two things: how well they get along with other people, and the way they exercise R and I, or what calls grit. If they score high on R and I, and display grit and a growth mindset, I'm confident they will succeed. In fact, gritty is now an official characteristic on our hiring hiring profile form. Proactive teams and organization. Being proactive also implies to teams and organization, not just individuals. Organization of all kinds, business, government, education, or the nonprofit sector. Face setback, market shift, competition cycles, and disruption. And unless they are proactive and learn to adapt and overcome obstacles, they won't survive. One of our clients in Southeast Asia, a world-class high-tech manufacturer, is a great example of this. They embrace the seven habit, training every employee from the CEO to the front line. They deeply they deeply believe in the principle, but then were put into the test.
Yeah.
At the time, their factory headquarters were experiencing the heaviest rainy season in 50 years. Immense flood drove 15 million people from their homes and more than 800 people died. It was reported to be the fourth most expensive natural disaster in world history. Our client was particularly hit hard with it with its vast manufacturing facility under nearly 6 feet of water, devastating an operation that required a zero dust environment. Experts estimate that it would take $1 billion and at least 7 months to clean up to get even a part of factory back online. While much of the high-end equipment would require years to replace, some market reports even predict that the end of the company would leave nearly 35,000 workers without jobs. The effects were immediate and global as high-tech manufacturing everywhere ground everywhere ground to a halt without some of the key components. Our client leaders refused the notion that it would take years to get back to work, and they were not going to wait to be rescued. Their leadership team had been training in the seven habits, and they had worked to make the principle their core operating system. So, drawing on years of practicing, they put habit one, be proactive, to the ultimate test. They immediately spread the word that there would be no layoffs. Their employees were like families, and they would get on their feet as one. The safety of their people was the safety of their people was their first priority. Crews were organized to help the most stricken employees in their office and in their flood home. Next up, they hired local Navy crews to salvage irreplaceable equipment and get it to dry land for refurbishing. While the plans of the other big while the plans of other big companies in the industrial park rusted in the mud. Their workers laid off. Our client work continued nonstop. Surely it made a difference to keep everyone on the payroll. But rebuilding the business as a team came naturally to these remarkable workers. Tens of thousands, many still trying to cope with crisis at home, showed up to revive their plan. Some traveled miles each day from centers, often in small boats or on water oxen for hours a day, determined to help. Many found themselves doing jobs they had never done before, hard, muddy labor. Company leaders rolled up their sleeves and toiled as alongside line workers. Some who had never met before formed teams and solved problems in the spot. As a result, the plant reopened only 15 days after the water receded. Within a year, it reclaimed the number one position in the market. Were astonished that it hadn't taken billions of dollars and many years to recover. All it took was a super superb team willing to wade through mud for each other. That is the power of proactive culture.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, because it's nothing and to discuss.
Uh, be the transition. We have been through difficult things, and if you haven't yet experienced in adversity, believe me, you will. You will. Our ability to put the past behind us, learn from it, and move forward is one of the greatest ways we show proactivity. The very essence of being proactive can be captured in the idea of a transition person, someone who someone who stops the negative tendency, habits, and pattern of past, such as abuse, harmful addiction, and neglect and their generation and instead passes on to other families, friends, and associate more positive habits, patterns, and tendency. We can stop these intergenerational destructive patterns from being passed on by using our four human endowments: self-awareness, our ability to stand apart from ourselves and observe what we like or don't like. Our ability to discern right from wrong. Imagination, our ability to envision new possibility. And independent will, our ability to act outside of all other influence. Recently, I had a conversation with a friend who flies from Arizona to Pennsylvania every weekend to see his son play college football. I remarked, I can't believe you go out every weekend to see your son play. That's a huge effort. You are really good dad. He thanked me and then he explained. When I was a kid, I used to dread the sound of my stepfather coming home because he would beat me up all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How were you able to rise above that? I don't know exactly when it happened, but when I was young, I remember having the thought, I'm not going to be like him. I'm going to show love to my child. And ever since, I've tried to be a good father. Even more incredibly, my friend doesn't harbor any negative feelings toward his stepfather. He told me, I don't know how, but I've been able to forgive him and move on. I've also been able to forgive and get over my real father, whom I met only once for just an hour. When I look back on my childhood, I am able to stand, able to stand back and identify that dark spots in the corner, and it no longer affects me. I think that's that. And
Hmm.
yeah,
So the last one is the transition. What is it again?
transition,
Yeah.
transition, where,
What is the title of the last?
oh, be the transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after reading it, what is it? What does it mean? Tell me.
So they gave me a story where there's a boy whom like his stepfather like would beat him all the time, would beat him all the time, would be mad at him all the time, like don't appreciate him and
Yeah.
other stuff. And then he's like, you know what? If when I'm getting older, I would show love and I would not be like my stepfather
Mm-hmm.
because he's a bit aggressive to his child and they don't like that.
Yeah.
So so then he starts to be a good father, like attending his child sports, attending his child speeches, etc.,
Mm.
or other stuff.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, is that the
So
transition?
like being instead of being the same of the
Yeah,
his stepdad or something,
he's
to
trying to
do
be better,
opposite. Yeah, to do a
the
better.
opposite.
Yeah, to do opposite.
Yeah,
Another one. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people like that. Sometimes people will not see something like this. They might affect their mental health and they might do the same thing to the next generations.
Yeah.
And in Cambodia, we tend to have this kind of things a lot, this kind of problem, not just um in the Western world, but in Cambodia, we have a lot of this kind of problem.
Yeah, especially in I think the countryside, if
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
It's happened everywhere, but it's only the thing is like it's really deep down in the heart of the people
Mm-hmm.
that they carry this kind of mental problem from the very, very long time ago, especially during the Khmer Rouge. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
kind of big things, big deep down that they feel so scared, they feel so angry, and they feel so grieved when their family, like they lost their family, lost their whole family. Some of them, only one of them is alive, and some of them like feel anger all the time. Some of them like feel sad all the time. And
yeah.
they go drink like most of the day to forget things. So a lot of problem, because of this kind of um regime that they face and they are live, like they face like death and kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a dead situation, but then they become like another persons. Even when they have their families, and we don't have any kind of psychologists or doctors who are specialists in this to give them a kind of recover from this mental health. So they keep growing with this, and they have family. They will pass on this to their families. They will be aggressive most of the times. They don't want to do it, but this is what they feel deep down in their heart. And then from generation to generation, they live something like this. So their kids might carry this anger, this aggressive, this violent families it's like going on to the next and next. So if those people cannot find the transition, they don't change from which generation, then it's kind of keep moving and on like that. So I don't know how much you understand about this kind of problem in our country. Even it's like the old people, it's like almost move to the next generation, but still a lot of effect from those Khmer Rouge mental health problem is still there with those people. Because I've been everywhere and I see a lot of people um going like going through life experience. Sometimes if you talk about this problem like Khmer Rouge, what they what did they eat, something like even one sensitive question that can make them feel like crying, feel like sad, like that all the time, this is like something like that. So I mean the feeling is still deep down in their mind, in their heart. So
Yeah.
we need kind of doctor, but we don't have it. So and nobody know how they suffer, how they felt from the very beginning until now. So they are suffer until they pass away. So it's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also about communication in our what is it, habit 4 or something? I don't know. Habit 5, habit 3,
Mm-hmm.
seek for to
Oh,
and to be understood. Which one? Which habit is it?
oh, wait, let me check.
Habit 5 or
Where is it? Oh no.
you can just check on the content. Seek first to
Oh, the
understand
concept.
them to be understood. Yeah. Should be habit 5, I guess, or 4. No, 4 should be win-win, I guess. I forgot it is.
Habit 5 is seek first to understand.
Yeah, so habit 5, yeah. That is the communication. The benefit of
Yeah.
communication. If you can communicate with them and you feel like understand their natures, like why they are aggressive, why they are do such as idiot things to their family sometimes. Then when we know this
Yeah.
deep down their heart, then we can forgive them, because we
Mm-hmm.
know that this is really something inside that they need to release. They need to be heard by a lot of people. They want to speak it out. They want to express it out in some of the form that they that they could not harm any other people, but they cannot do it because we're supposed to have like a doctor, like a psychologist to go and talk with them individually, how they feel, how do they release it, how do they let go of those kind of feelings so that they can live peacefully. But they cannot, we don't have. So they have to live with this kind of anger, aggressive, sad, everything is there. So when we understand these things, and sometimes we can forgive them because we know that this is difficult for them to live this in this situation in their life. They are suffer the whole life until they are die. So that is the things that happen. And it's still a lot of people suffer. Anyway, just go on. We can read a little bit more.
Okay.
And
Can I
what is the
continue?
title? Yeah, which
Huh?
what is the title of the next one?
After this is done, then we're going to habit 2.
Habit 2?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
in habit 1 right now.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Let's go to habit 1 then. Habit 2. What is it?
Okay. So habit 2 begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
All right. So principle of personal leadership. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Please find a place to read these new few pages where you can be alone and uninterrupted. Clear your mind of everything except what you will read and what I will invite you to do. Don't worry about your schedule, your business, your family, or friends. Just focus with me and really open your mind. In your mind's eye, see yourself going to the funeral of a loved one.
Mhm.
Picture yourself driving to the funeral parlor or chapel, parking the car and getting out. As you walk inside the building, you notice the flowers, the soft organ music. You see the face of friends and family you pass along the way. You feel the shared sorrow of losing, the joy of having known, the radiates from the hearts of people there. As you walk down to the front of the room and look inside the casket, you suddenly come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral. 3 years from today, all these people have come to you to honor you, to express feeling of love and appreciation for your life. As you take a seat and wait for the service to begin, you look at the program in your hand. There are to be four speakers. The first is from your family, immediate and also attended. Children's brothers, sisters, nephew, nieces, aunts, uncle, cousins, and grandparents who had come over from all the country to attend. The second speaker is one of your friends who can give a sense of what you are as a person. The third speaker is from your work or profession. And the fourth is your church or some community organization where you've been involved in service. Now think deeply. What would you like each of these speakers to say about you and your life? What kind of husband, wife, father, or mother would you like their words to reflect? What kind of son or daughter or cousin? What kind of friends? What kind of working associate? What character would you like them to have seen in you? What contribution, what achievement would you want them to remember? Look carefully at the people around you. What difference, what differences, or what difference would you like to have made in their lives? Before you read further, take a few minutes to jot out your impression. It will greatly increase your personal understanding of attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that is a good thing that you also need to think about it, even though it's not real, but that is something that we have to consider
yeah,
whether what kinds of person you want to be in those four categories that they stated,
yeah.
like family, co-workers, community, and all of those. So what do you want people to say something about you when you are gone? It's also a kind of good motivation to make yourself to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is start from now. You don't know the future, but like now, it's time for you to think also the plan that you have to make. Otherwise, you will waste your time being a teenagers. You might do something that you like, feel like it's, but less benefits to yourself, to your
Mm-hmm.
family, to your friend, to your community and all. So that is the good thing that you have to reflect it, like think about it, even though you cannot fully think of everything, but at least give you some idea about that. That's why
Yeah.
they begin with the habits from with this example. It's a good one. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So now how do you spend your free time now?
What?
How do you spend your free time now? Your time. I mean, not your free time, but your time. How do you spend your time now?
Um, since the morning, I went out for like an exercise, gymming and stuff. I came back home, organized my stuff,
Mhm.
get things, and then start, having some fun playing games and stuff. And then when it comes to 3 o'clock, I attend your class. If you don't have class, I just like read books
Mm-hmm.
like for an hour and a half. And an hour and a half, I just shower, eat dinner, and that's it for now
Yeah.
because that's the summer break. I'm
So
not sure.
how do you think is you're gonna be ready for the new term of the school?
I'm not sure if I'm ready or not.
What should you prepare? Like,
I need to prepare a lot. I need to prepare a lot of like
yeah.
the amount of work they're gonna give you, the amount of you need time management. That's the main thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's not about time management, it's about your self-management, self-management.
yeah.
Time
So you
management
don't.
is something you can do later on, but self-management is really important. If you cannot control yourself of wasting a lot of time doing something else, then time management is not gonna work. Okay?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah,
So a lot of people like, oh, I will create my schedule. I will do this from this time, that time, this time, that time. But at the end of the day,
they did not.
did not complete any single one of them
That's
because
more
of,
like me.
because of the
That's more like
self-management. Yeah, you have to find out. You have to see the thing, see through the thing, like why you have to do that. Why? And if you don't do it, then what happened in the next week, in the next month, in the next years, and in the next 5 years, for example. So you have to sit down and think about it again and again
yeah,
until you feel it, not just see it in your brain, but you have to feel like you feel it. If you don't complete this task, important tasks, then what happened next week? And then next month, and then next year, and then next 2 year, next 3 year, 4 year, 5 years. How do you see yourself in such a situations?
yeah,
Because when people live in the we can say the comfort zone a lot, then you have less imagination, you have less kind of visualization to see things, but you have to train yourself to see that what happened if you don't do it, or just see yourself what happened if you fail some subjects at school, and why did you fail? Because it is too hard, because it is you didn't work hard enough, or because of what? So you have to find out, and then you have to change, make something change about it. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, like everything is about pro and cons. You have to see things like whether it's gonna be more pro or con. If you see it already, then you have to decide yourself whether you should do it or not. And if you should,
yeah,
why not? It's always a question until you feel like, okay, this is not good and I quit. So you have to think about it. If you depend on the circle of the in like the problem, then you need someone to force you to do it, then you feel not happy to do it. Then your
yeah,
result also not good.
yeah,
Okay. It's like that. It's always related to one another. It's like that.